Hello, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to talk about the anatomy and physiology quiz one. So in short, this is to do a recap of what we have learned so far in anatomy and physiology. It's more like the midpoint now. Okay. So in anatomy quiz, of course, we are going to cover some one-word answer. The first question is the study of body structures and how they relate to each other is dash. Okay, so these are actually pretty easy because this is the introduction, so of course they are going to be very easy. Okay, so this one is of course just a definition for anatomy. The next question is list the three planes of the body. List the three planes of the body. Okay, so the planes of the body of the frontal plane, which is also known as the coronal plane, then you have the sagittal plane, then you have the transverse plane, which is also known as the horizontal plane. Okay. Next question, mention three connective tissues. So just mentioning three connective tissues. So we have bone tissue, of course, or the osseous tissue. We have the cartilage or the chondroid tissue. Then you have liquid connective tissue. Then you have mature connective tissue. We have, of course, the loose connective tissue and the dense connective tissue. And of course, these are not the only connective tissues that we actually have. Okay, they are actually a lot. Okay, and depending on how they are classified, you can just choose any subtype within there. For instance, like you have the mature connective tissue, so you can choose the loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, since they fall under the mature connective tissues. Okay, list the four simple epithelial tissues. Okay, so list the four simple epithelial tissues. So we have simple squamous epithelium, then you have the simple cuboid epithelium, then you have the simple columnar epithelium, then you have the simple pseudostratified epithelium. So these are the four simple epithelial tissues. Okay, so this one is actually, the name suggests simple, but it looks as if it is a 4C stratified. So we call it pseudo stratified. Okay, so these are the four simple epithelial tissues. Then mention the three types of cartridges. Three types of cartridges. Okay, so we have eye-line cartridge, a fibro cartridge, and the elastic cartridge. So these are the three types of cartridges. Okay. Then mention at least 5 modes of transport across the plasma membrane. Mention at least 5 modes of transport across the plasma membrane. So this again is one of the easiest as well. Okay, because they are actually a lot. So you have diffusion, or you can separate them to say simple passive diffusion, and also have facilitated diffusion. You have active transport, endocytosis, cytosis, osmosis, transcytosis. So you can actually just pick any 5 from this list. Okay. Question 7, differentiate positive and negative feedback mechanisms and give examples in your explanation. Okay, so this is one of the best questions ever. Okay, so in positive feedback, the effect of a process actually boosts the stimuli, which increases the production of the product. For instance, so this is the example now. So when a female is giving birth, oxytocin is actually released, causing contractions, which further again will increase the production of the product. Again, the same will actually continue to occur. Okay, so the effect organs will still boost the stimuli. Okay, that is positive feedback. Okay, whilst negative feedback, the effect organ of a process reduces effect of the stimulus, which in turn decreases production of the product. E.g., when a person is feeling cold, then the hypothalamus triggers shivering of the body so as to generate heat for the body. So meaning the effect organ, okay, which are the muscles in this case, will actually start to cause shivering, which in turn just reduces the effect of the stimuli, which is the cold. Okay, but this is not the only difference, of course. This is just the only difference I found, which was easy to remember, and the examples which are also easy to remember as well. Okay, so differentiate meiosis and mitosis. Differentiate meiosis and mitosis. So this is a cell type. Difference number one in terms of cell type. So meiosis occurs in gametes, while mitosis occurs in somatic cells. That's the difference in cell type. So meiosis, gametes, mitosis, somatic cells. The second difference is in terms of purpose. So meiosis is mainly for reproduction and genetic diversity, whilst mitosis is for growth and repair. Okay, then the last difference is in terms of chromosomes. Meiosis actually reduces the number of chromosomes. That's why other people refer to it as a reduction. Okay, and whilst mitosis actually maintains the chromosomes. Okay, then let's now go to the next. Okay, so proteins for export in the cell are manufactured in the dash. So proteins for export in the cell are manufactured in the dash. So the answer is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Remember, it has the ribosomes on it, of course. So rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then dash is the powerhouse of the cell. Dash is the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, so the answer is the mitochondria. I think this is also one of the easiest. Then mention three areas where you will find keratinized epithelial tissue. Okay, mention three areas where you will find keratinized epithelial tissue. And bound we have the skin, hair, tongue, calluses, mucous membrane, and as well as the lips. Okay, that's where we can find them. Then mention 5 cells found in connective tissues. Mention 5 cells found in connective tissues. So we have fibroblasts, adipocytes, osteoblasts, macrophages, chondrocytes. Okay, these are the 5 cells found in connective tissues. So fibroblasts, adipocytes, osteoblasts, macrophages, chondrocytes. Okay. And the total body odor in an average adult is about what percentage? Okay, so the answer of course is 60%. This is one of the easiest again. Okay, 60%. Okay, so let's move. Okay, so let's move. Then cow dough means the same as, so cow dough means the same as, okay, so it means the same as inferior or lower. Okay, then adipose tissue is the same as dash tissue. Adipose tissue is the same as dash tissue. Okay, so this is the same as fatty tissue. Then mention the 3 superior regions of the abdomen. Of course, of the 9, just mention the 3 superior regions. So the 9 abdominal regions are 3 superior regions. Okay, so of those same 9 abdominal regions, 9 demarcations or regions of the abdomen, there are 3 which are superficial. That's what we want here. Okay, which are the right hypochondriac, the epigastric, and the left hypochondriac region. They are superficial. Okay, then mention 3 structures where you find the transitional epithelial tissue. Mention 3 structures where you find transitional epithelial tissue. Answer. So you have ureters, the bladder, and part of the urethra, the renal pelvis, and the uterus. So ureters, bladder, part of the urethra, and the renal pelvis, as well as the uterus. Okay. Then mention 2 structures forming the inferior boundary of the cranial cavity. Mention 2 structures forming the inferior boundary of the cranial cavity. Okay, they have the occipital bone, which forms the superior surface. Then you also have the sphenoid bone. Then we have the temporal bone. Okay, so let's move. Then which structure forms the superior boundary of the abdominal cavity? Which structure forms the superior boundary of the abdominal cavity? So it's made up of course the structure is the diaphragm. Then the other name for cytoplasm is dash. The other name for cytoplasm is dash. So the other name, so they are actually found that there are a lot of answers depending on the literature. Okay, but some of the commonest answers people actually give is number one is protoplasm. Others actually even end up giving you cytosol. Then you have aeroplasm, cell sap, or endoplasm. But the ones, if I was marking, then I would put protoplasm or aeroplasm. These are the two other names for cytoplasm, depending on the literature you're actually using. So protoplasm or aeroplasm. You mentioned two areas where you find non-keratinized epithelial tissue. Mention two areas where you find non-keratinized epithelial tissue. Number one, we have the mouth, vagina, esophagus, intestines, urethra, and the cornea. Okay, and it is always fun when we tell people, say the vagina and the mouth have the same epithelial tissue, then they go like, oh, okay. I don't know what they realize, but actually it's very fun when we tell them this. Okay, continue. List four cavities of the body. List four cavities of the body. So number one, of the cranial cavity, thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity, and the pelvic cavity. Okay, then we have also have smaller cavities such as the oral cavity, nasal cavity, midway cavity, synovial cavity, and of course other smaller cavities. But the major ones are these ones: the cranial cavity, thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity, and the pelvic cavity. At least if you want to write this one correctly, you need to give me these answers. Mention three membranes found in the body. Mention three membranes that are found in the body. So the cell membrane, mucous membrane, and the serous membrane. In other membranes we have the synovial membrane, basement membrane, peritoneal membrane, pericardial membrane, pleural membrane, amniotic membrane, chorionic membrane, placental membrane. So they're actually a lot. Okay, but the first three, these ones definitely we need to know them. Okay, cell membrane, mucous membrane, and the serous membrane. These are the number. These are the first things you are supposed to write. Okay. Then name the membranes which cover the following structures: the lungs, heart, abdominal organs. Okay. So the one which covers the lungs are known as the pleural membrane. The one which covers the heart is known as the pericardial membrane. The one which covers the abdominal organs is the peritoneal membrane. Okay, so lungs, pleural membrane, heart, pericardial membrane, abdominal organ, peritoneal membrane. Okay, then dorsal is the same as dash. Dorsal is the same as dash. Of course, the answer is posterior. Okay. Then this is a matching question where you match the terms associated with the joint movement in column A with the explanations in column B. So abduction, flexion, supination, rotation, extension. The knee is turning a portion towards the body, turning the palm downwards, moving away from the midline, bending, turning around the fixed axis, turning the palm upwards, and straightening. Okay, so one is C. So one is C, which so abduction is moving away from the midline. Then flexion, two is D. So flexion is actually bending any joint. Bending a joint, sorry. Okay, not any joint. Okay, so not only do we that was not the example. Okay, so 2D, which is bending. Then 3F, so supination is turning the palm upwards. Then 4, rotation. So rotation is so 4E, turning around the fixed axis, that is rotation. Then extension, 5G, which is extension is straightening. Okay, so that's some of the things we need to know. That's the end of the tutorial. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And of course, we are also dropping another quiz. Okay.